Most gardeners are ruining their soil with hot compost without even realizing it. Here's the truth. Piling up green and brown matter, cranking it to 140 to 160 degrees Fahrenheit, and calling it compost might give you quick results, but it's destroying the very thing your soil needs most: fungi. I see this all the time in backyard gardens, raised beds, and even some hydroponic setups. People think hot compost equals nutrient-rich soil, but what they're really doing is sterilizing it. Heat kills beneficial fungi, reduces microbial diversity, and leaves you with soil that acts more like a sponge for fertilizer than a living ecosystem. That's why if you care about building long-term fertility, you need to slow down and work with fungal-dominated systems instead. Before we go further, subscribe to Farm Logic if you want actionable science-backed strategies to turn ordinary soil into a super productive growing medium. And while we're talking soil monitoring, I'll be referencing a 4-in-1 soil moisture meter that tracks moisture, temperature, pH, and sunlight intensity. Link is in the description if you want the exact model I use in my gardens. Fungi are the real architects of soil structure. Let's start with biology. Fungi aren't just decomposers, they're engineers. Their hyphae weave through soil particles, creating channels that improve aeration, water retention, and root penetration. Heat from traditional hot compost piles destroys these delicate networks. You end up with a soil that holds water poorly, collapses easily, and requires more synthetic amendments to produce healthy crops. On the other hand, when you let fungal processes dominate, the carbon from leaves and woody material is broken down slowly, forming humus that lasts for years. This humus buffers nutrients, supports beneficial bacteria, and makes your garden resilient against droughts and disease. For practical application, in a backyard raised bed, start by laying down a 2 to 3 inch layer of shredded leaves or straw. Lightly moisten them, then cover with a thin layer of garden soil or finished compost. This encourages fungi to colonize the leaf layer without forcing them to compete with heat-loving bacteria. In hydroponic setups, adding a small amount of leaf mold to your substrate can help maintain microbial balance and improve nutrient retention. There's a misconception that hot composting is the fastest route to fertile soil. It is fast, but it's a trade-off. High heat accelerates bacterial decomposition and can destroy seeds or pathogens, but it comes at the cost of fungal life. If your goal is immediate nutrient release, sure, hot compost works. But if your goal is building a living, resilient soil system that keeps feeding your plants season after season, hot compost is actually counterproductive. A practical alternative is slow, cold, or fungal composting. Spread your leaves, small branches, and plant debris in a loose pile or directly on your garden beds. Keep it moist, but not wet, and allow nature to do the work over months rather than weeks. You'll see dark, crumbly leaf mold forming instead of the raw, chunky material that hot compost leaves behind. The resulting product may take longer to produce, but it integrates into your soil with minimal disturbance and maximum biological benefit. How to manage moisture and temperature without killing fungi. Fungi thrive in damp, oxygenated conditions, not in steaming piles. In backyard beds, aim for leaf layers that are consistently moist, like a wrung-out sponge, but never soggy. Too much water invites anaerobic bacteria, which creates odors and slows decomposition. Too little water and the fungi can't break down the carbon-rich leaves effectively. This is where tools like the 4-in-1 soil moisture meter come in. I check moisture levels at least once a week, especially during dry spells, and track the temperature to make sure the pile or leaf layer isn't overheating. This simple habit prevents you from unintentionally sterilizing your leaf mold. Applying fungal-rich material in different garden systems. In small backyard gardens, you can directly mulch fallen leaves around perennials or vegetable beds. Aim for a 2 to 4 inch layer. Over time, The leaves will break down, enriching your soil while protecting roots and regulating temperature. For raised beds, start with a layer of leaf mold at the bottom before adding your planting mix. This layer acts like a sponge, improving water retention and nutrient delivery. In hydroponics, the principle is similar, but you need to be careful with water balance. Adding a small amount, say 5 to 10% of your total substrate volume, of fully decomposed leaf mold can boost microbial diversity without clogging your system. Make sure your water nutrient solution remains well aerated, because fungal growth in hydroponics needs oxygen just like roots do. Don't forget the balance of carbon to nitrogen. Even with fungal composting, you need the right mix of materials. Fungi really thrive on carbon-rich matter, like leaves, straw, and woody debris. Adding nitrogen-rich material, like fresh vegetable scraps or grass clippings, sparingly helps accelerate fungal growth without overheating the pile. A good rule of thumb is roughly 4 parts carbon to 1 part nitrogen for fungal-focused composting. Too much nitrogen shifts the pile toward bacterial dominance, which can generate heat and, honestly, undermine your goal of slow, sustainable soil building. Layering techniques and ratios that actually work. In my raised beds, I typically layer 2 to 3 inches of shredded leaves, followed by 1 inch of finished compost or topsoil, repeating until I reach about 6 to 8 inches. This keeps the layers loose, encourages fungal colonization, and ensures adequate moisture retention. Over time, the leaves settle and become dark, crumbly humus. If you're dealing with a full backyard compost bin, I'll often put 50 to 60% carbon-rich materials like leaves and small branches, 20 to 30% nitrogen-rich scraps, and 10 to 20% finished compost to inoculate the pile with beneficial microbes. I rarely turn the pile aggressively, just light mixing to maintain airflow. The difference in fungal dominance is, honestly, remarkable compared to hot compost piles that have been cranked up and turned daily. So let's talk about how leaf-based fungal soil actually improves plant performance. Once you start using fungal-dominated soil, you'll notice several differences. Water penetrates more deeply and evenly, roots grow straighter and stronger, and, plants just handle stress much better. Tomatoes in fungal-rich raised beds will often produce more consistent fruit throughout the season. Perennials develop better root systems that last multiple years. Even drought-tolerant crops like squash or peppers benefit from the humus's water buffering effect. In hydroponics, leaf mold added to substrates helps maintain microbial diversity, reducing the risk of nutrient lockout and improving nutrient uptake efficiency. Your plants become more resilient without the need for constant fertilizer inputs. Now, let's go over some common mistakes and how to avoid them. Many gardeners overcomplicate fungal soil building by trying to layer materials too perfectly or by chasing speed. Fungi aren't fragile. They work best when left alone. Overturning, compressing, or overheating leaf layers slows progress and kills beneficial species. Also, don't add too much fresh nitrogen at once. A handful of kitchen scraps here and there is enough. You don't want a smelly, slimy pile. There are a few tools that make fungal soil management easier. Besides the 4-in-1 soil moisture meter I mentioned earlier, I sometimes use a simple rake or garden fork to lightly aerate thick leaf layers. I avoid compost thermometers for fungal-dominated piles because, honestly, heat isn't the goal. Instead, focus on monitoring moisture, sunlight exposure, and the condition of your leaf layers. Over time, your observations will tell you more than any digital readout. So, why does this approach outperform traditional hot compost? Hot compost delivers fast nutrients, but at a cost. Fungal-based, leaf-dominated soil builds long-term fertility, enhances water retention, improves root growth and reduces dependency on synthetic fertilizers. Once your soil reaches this stage, it keeps improving season after season, unlike hot compost, which needs constant replenishment and monitoring to maintain productivity. This is especially critical in raised beds and hydroponic systems, where microbial diversity directly affects plant health and yield. If you take one thing from this video, it's this: stop chasing heat, start respecting fungal biology, and use leaves as your secret weapon. Layer, monitor moisture, keep nitrogen in check, and let fungi do the work. Your soil will reward you with richer, stronger, and more resilient plants. Subscribe to Farm Logic for more practical gardening strategies based on real experience in backyard gardens, raised beds, and hydroponic systems. Check the description for the link to the 4-in-1 soil moisture meter I use to track soil conditions. It's an essential tool for serious gardeners who want to make fungal soil management easy. Share this video with friends and fellow growers so we can all start thinking beyond hot compost and start building soil that truly works for us.